Hello and welcome to another edition of the Blues Focus match preview show. We were on the end of a 1-0 defeat to Port Vale, which meant we exited the Carabao Cup. But in our last league fixture, we beat Oxford United 1-0. So, yeah, 2 1-0s in our last two games. And next up is Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. And I'm delighted to welcome Jack from the Final Whistle podcast onto our podcast. How are you doing, Jack?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are we?
Yeah, very good, thank you. And really looking forward to this game, actually, because there's a lot of big talking points going into it. You know, two of the favoured teams going into the championship season. And we spoke on your channel, didn't we, before a ball was kicked about, predictions and what's going to happen. And you had Leicester very high in your predictions. I think you had them in second place. So, 3 games into the season, into the league season, how are you feeling so far?
I think it's been quite a steady start by Leicester. I think we can do a lot more. There's a lot more to improve on. We've won, 2 out of the first 3 games, which is quite good. 6 points we're quite happy with. We're the highest of the places of Ipswich, Southampton and Leicester are the 3 that come down from the Premier League. So, yeah, it's been a steady start. And like I say, a lot to develop on. And it's only just a start, isn't it,
Yeah, because how much do you think, because you mentioned there about Ipswich, Southampton and yourselves coming down from the Premier League, and I suppose a lot of the bookmakers were putting Leicester as third in those block of 3, maybe because of the points deduction rumours or whatever. But I've never fully understood what's happening with you guys regarding the points deduction. Where has this come from and what's the likelihood of it happening?
Yeah, the points deduction scenario, they base it over a 3-year period, don't they? PSR and that. Basically, the Premier League have charged us, but now they've got to go and find us guilty of what they've charged us for. So they can't just throw anything at us at the minute until proven guilty. So, yeah, I can understand where the bookmakers and that have had us so far regarding taking into consideration the possible points deduction, which is fine, but we've just got to do our talking on the pitch.
Yeah, and in terms of the squad that you've got at the moment, I think importantly, for Premier League teams coming down, to the Championship is about keeping hold of what you've got and the quality players that you have. And I feel like with Leicester, when you look at your guys' team, I feel like your real strengths are in attack. You've got a lot of quick wingers and, strikers that I think are capable of scoring goals in the Championship. And in terms of players that you're excited for this season, who would you say is the one that stands out for you the most?
I'd say Abdul Fatawu. He's just come back from an injury. And he looks stronger than ever. He looks quick. He looks sharp. He's bulked up a lot. And he looks exciting. You've seen the goal that he scored against Charlton, which Nathan Jones said it's a 1 in a million goal. Well, Mr. Nathan Jones, if you actually go and watch what he was doing last time in the Championship and the goals that he has scored previous, then it's not a 1 in a million goal. So he's more the one I'm excited about. But then if you touch on youngsters, you've got Jeremy Mongers come through the ranks, an exciting 16-year-old who I think is going to go to bigger and better things at some point. And I think the league sort of showed that, Championship fans are looking at Jeremy Monger and thinking, this guy's exciting. This guy's going to have a big season ahead of him. And yeah, I think we can't big him up enough.
I think Blues fans are familiar with, 16-year-olds emerging from the academy ranks and impressing in the first team. So with Monga, what is it straight away that you saw about him that made you go, this guy can go to the top?
He's very quick. He's very direct. He looks like a young head on older shoulders. It looks like he's been around the game a bit, 16 years old, and you're thinking this guy's going to take time to get into the rhythm and that, and he hasn't. He's a real quick learner. He's skillful. He can score goals, and apparently his favourable position is a centre attacking midfield role in that number 10 spot. So I do think he can be versatile under the manager, and it's good that the manager trusts him to come in and do a job for the team.
And Marty Cifuentes, now the manager in charge, there was a bit of, I guess, to and fro with Ruben Nistelrooy. We didn't know whether he was going to start the Championship season in charge, but he left, and now Cifuentes has come in off the back of a spell at QPR. What do you make of him so far?
Leicester fans love him early on, There's still a long way to go. Like Marty says, it's not going to be a process in a week, a month, a year. It's going to take longer. He's here to build with the fans and hopefully some good times ahead. He speaks very well about his culture about his philosophy, and Leicester fans are very much on board. His style of football, it's quick, it's in transition. We press from the front, and yeah, the players look like they're quite happy enough to play under him. Obviously, he has got a big job to do regarding the communication with these players of how poor they was last season. So he's got to really make a stamp on this team pretty quick. He has done that with McAteer leaving, James Justin, Wilfred Ndidi, Matt Hermanson's gone, Connor Cody, and hopefully a few more out the door. But I would like to see the club back in more into the window with giving him money to spend in bringing in key positions that we actually need with the window. I think it's like, 4 or 5 days till the window shuts now. So there's a lot of work to do in a short space of time for him to bring his own players in.
You're leading on to my next question, actually, about the transfer window and the players that, could come and go. And I saw recently that talks are broken down with Crystal Palace and El Canoes. So if you can keep him on your books, that's a major positive. So is there anything that you've seen links that could happen between now and Monday?
We've been linked with Musa Silla from Schalke. We've also been linked with every Tom, Dick and Harry, basically, when it comes to Leicester. We seem to be interested FC or inquired FC. We never seem to be signing players, It's nice to be interested in players, Sam, but you want to see your club actually do the business, which we haven't so far. Bilal El Khanous has been a massive talking point regarding this window. Will he stay? Will he go? A few days ago, the Crystal Palace deal fell completely flat on its arse. But he's a good player. Obviously, there's been a bit of speculation about what he's been doing on Instagram and that regarding changing his profile picture and this, that, and the other. There's been a lot of media talk, probably a lot of agent talk, and we can get money for him if we can get the right price for him, which Leicester City have set a price out for him. And if we haven't got the money for him, then he's a Leicester City player. He's got to get his head down and play well, which you can sort of see that he's been very unsettled with the transfer speculation and that. There's obviously been rumours that he'll sit in the stands and this, that, and the other. And that mentality stinks, doesn't it, from players that, they try forcing moves here, there, and everywhere. And you want a player that's really committed and 100% for the badge. But we'll sort of see tomorrow night if he is in that team. If he is and he does play and gives 100%, fantastic. But if he isn't in that squad at all, then there's going to be questions of what is exactly happening. Is it the agent talks? Is it media talk? Because the media seems to be pushing this more than anything. The player, I don't know where his head's at, but hopefully Marty seems to know more than we do as fans at the minute.
Well, I imagine you're a better team, with him in your side. So,
yeah.
Tomorrow night, you're surely going to be involved. And in terms of the game Friday night, it's been billed as a game, between two promotion contenders. Do you see Birmingham as a promotion contender in your eyes?
Yeah, I think you got a fantastic squad. I think Stansfield's a great player. He really stands out for you lot. I think you lot have had a fantastic window. You can see the real ambition that your owner wants to do at Birmingham City and getting them to the big time, which is the Premier League. You had a fantastic season in League One last season. I think you got 111 points, and that's record-breaking stuff for the Blues, but it's good to see you back on track as a club. Obviously, I know you've had a fair share of bad ownership and that, but it's good to see now that the Blues are actually on the up. So, yeah, you're a tough side. You have proved it so far. You have been that nitty-gritty side, haven't you? Even against Blackburn, where you were 1-0 down, but you still played to the whistle and obviously got the 3 points in the end. So it is a tough task for Leicester, but, these are the games where we've got to get points out of if we do want to get promoted this season.
And 2 seasons ago, when we last faced off, I think in that season we played you 3 times. We had 3 different managers. That kind of speaks to where the club was at that time, and then you won the league. So I think sort of comparisons from now to then. Obviously, we have Chris Davis in charge, someone that Leicester City fans know because of his time at the club. Assisting Brendan Rodgers. How did Chris Davis go about his business at Leicester, and what do the fans think of him?
He's a good coach. He did well with Brendan, worked under Brendan quite a bit, but we never really seen much of him at Leicester. It was more about Brendan Rodgers because you only look at the manager, don't you? You don't really look at their backroom staff. So it's good to see that it has been around the teams quite a bit. I think he was at Celtic with Brendan. He's been to Tottenham as well. He's worked around some very good managers, So it's good to see that he's learning. He's still got a lot more to develop in the game. And he's obviously doing really well at you lot, which is quite pleasing.
And we've also got Ben Petty involved, who was the assistant coach of you guys, like with Leicester City, I think the academy team he took. So I think it's like, lots of, Leicester Birmingham connections, and another one being Damari Gray. What impact did Damari Gray have at Leicester when he was there?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's quick. He's sharp. It's just attitude problems, isn't it, with Damari, Some fans at Leicester said about his ego, but he is a good player when he gets his head down. He did score a few good goals for Leicester. Maybe it could have worked out a lot more better for him. He's a good player. He is one to look out for Leicester fans. It's just fingers crossed he doesn't score against us tomorrow night. But Leicester fans are banking on him scoring at the King Power. So hopefully that's avoided. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, Damari Gray did say himself that Leicester away was one of the games he was most looking forward to. So the fact it's come this early in the season, it's really exciting. And for this game, Jack, what do you think is going to happen in terms of, do you think that Leicester are going to keep hold of the ball a lot, or do you expect Birmingham to really come out and have a go?
Birmingham are going to be one of them sides where they're not going to sit behind the ball. They're actually an attacking side, that's what we like, because at the minute we've played Charlton, Sheffield Wednesday and Preston, and they've sat 5 at the back, and we struggle to break that down. Birmingham are a bit more different. They're more outgoing, more attacking, and just enjoy the football. I think it's a tough game for Leicester, like every game is in the Championship, but Leicester have got to start well in the game, When we played against Sheffield Wednesday, we never really got going in the first half. Preston never got going at all in that game, but we got rightfully beat. The Charlton game, again, just lacking that in the first half. So tomorrow's game's about really kicking on, starting off on the front foot. We are a possession-based side, so we like to keep the ball quite a bit, but it's about picking them right spaces and getting in behind the Birmingham side. Obviously, Birmingham, they've defended quite well in the Championship so far, but Leicester have got to be good if they are going to get the 3 points tomorrow night, because 3 points are not a given. You've got to earn them. So hopefully we can go in on our stripes tomorrow night and get them crucial 3 points, because it's a big game. It's a Midlands game, a clash between the two sides. And we'll relish this task. And Marty Cifuentes has obviously spoke about it quite highly.
I'm really excited for it as well. And what I expect from, midweek defeat against Port Vale to now is a good reaction from the players, because we've had that a lot in the past, where we've had disappointments. The team have come back and impressed on the next outing. So I'm really hoping, as a Blues fan, that happens. And obviously for you, Jack, you'll be hoping that Leicester can beat us at home. So in terms of the score prediction, what are you going for?
Well, we've got to have fighting courage. We've seen that togetherness against Charlton. We really dug deep and worked hard to get the win. So I'm going to go, I tell you what, I'm going to go for a tight 2-1 Leicester City win. I'll give Damari Gray his goal, but as long as we win, I'm not too bothered. So I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester. And it's going to be a good game.
I'm going 2-1 as well, actually, but for Birmingham this time around. And I think there's going to be goals at either end. I remember back in 2 seasons ago where we tried to sort of fight your punch for punch under Wayne Rooney, and that was actually, I think, one of the most entertaining games I watched in the season. Probably entertaining as a neutral, but for Blues fans, you kind of hiding behind the sofa, because every single time Leicester went forward, you thought you guys were going to score. So maybe a little bit more measured this time around.
Yeah, I think the game at St Andrews last time in the Championship, you went toe-to-toe with us and you made it difficult for us. In the last game we played at the King Power, you made it tough again to break you down. Obviously, Stansfield got his goal through a Mads Hermansen mistake. I think it was Mavadidi who scored that late goal in the end to win us the game. So, Birmingham are going to be a tough side. They're going to really want to relish the task against Leicester and show how good they are. They've obviously got that momentum, and hopefully Leicester can stop that tomorrow night at the KP.
There's been lots of good clashes between Blues and Leicester in the past, and I'm really hoping this falls in the category, because if you go even back like 5 years ago when we played you, I think just before COVID came in, and it was a 5th round game in the FA Cup where you guys beat us 1-0. And I'll test you. Do you know who scored the goal that day?
I believe it was Ricardo Pereira.
Correct. Yes.
Michael Brighton set him up.
Oh, yeah. We don't need to know that bit. With the video affiliation, we don't need to know that
every
bit.
time you touched the ball, you were booing him. And last time we
Yeah.
played you in the FA Cup game, last time round, it was like you were booing him again and giving him some right shit in that corner. And you know, it almost says, but he relished did that, you know. And it's good to have that between the fans and the player in it. And good to see Ricardo scored in that game. I can't believe how bloody long it was ago. You know, you made me feel old.
Yeah, it was literally just before COVID, and I remember in the tunnel hearing like the keep right on sort of, you could hear it right from there, and I imagine the same thing is going to be happening on Friday night with the atmosphere that's built up. And I think it's Blues and Leicester that have the most televised games in the next 2 months, so it just goes to show the interest around both of the clubs.
Yeah, the two sides who are going to be up there. I've had Birmingham to finish in the playoffs, which we discussed when we did the championship predictions for the early predictions. So Leicester, it's going to be telling to see how we kick on from tomorrow's night's game. And they talked about it today in the press conference. They said, is it going to be one that's going to be telling for your season? I don't think you can read too much into it early on. I think, you know, it's a 46 game season, isn't it? So you read into it game by game and go from there. But right at this minute in time, obviously both sides are obviously going to be up there. And Birmingham will want to try and sort of resolute like an Ipswich type of thing, you know, get promoted from League One, then go from the Championship to the Premier League and surprise teams this season. So I think that's something you'll do. But it's about finding that consistency, you know. The Championship's a step up a level for Birmingham. But Chris Davies, you know, he keeps them players level-headed. You can see the fight and that team spirit in your team. And that's something we're going to need tomorrow night when we face you lot. Yeah,
it sounds really good. Thank you so much for your time, Jack. And just quickly, where can we find your channel? Because I know me and Tommy are hopping on later on for a podcast. Yes. So, just give a shout out to what's happening on your end.
Go and find us at the Final Whistle. We do match previews, match day vlogs, the late night whistle where we chat all things Leicester City. We do the championship predictions as well. So go and check that out, what we predict for Leicester taking on Blues. We have got Tommy and of course Sam joining us for an opposition view of Birmingham versus Leicester in the match preview at 8:30. So go and join us for that if you're a Blues fan. Yeah, it should be a great chat. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, Jack. And as for us, you know, we've got the vlog coming out for the game and also match reaction as well. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe and keep right on.